So you have downloaded War Thunder or have been playing War Thunder and are now looking at the Naval game mode and wondering where to start. I'm here today to give you a few generic, easy tips for starting War Thunder Naval that'll keep it from being too frustrating right at the beginning as you try to learn the systems that are available in this game, because there is a fairly steep learning curve for all of them and the in-game tutorials are not that great. These will be fairly generic, they won't focus on the gameplay too much, as my main goal is to just reduce the frustration that you can feel early on as you try to actually learn the Naval game mode. And while these tips may give you a small advantage early on, later in the video I will mention that I have some guides that will do this a lot better once you have this initial start to the game. But without further ado, let's get into my first tip, which is to grab a gun-focused starter destroyer like the USS Litchfield, HMS Vega, or Germany's Leopard, and just play some arcade games. Obviously try out the in-game tutorials first, but play some arcade matches and get a feel for the ship handling and gameplay systems that War Thunder has. While they can feel similar to other games, needless to say World of Warships, they can be massively different in War Thunder. I also specify arcade because it is the most beginner friendly, as rushing into realistic really puts you at a severe disadvantage with the high skill floor of its aiming system. Once you do get a general feel for the game, then you can start delving in a little deeper. My next suggestion is to just play to have fun. Don't concern yourself with being sunk or not directly sinking a ton of enemies. Early destroyers have rather weak weaponry, which lets you fight it out longer and learn as you go. You also get 3 respawns during a match, presuming you have 3 ships to bring into it, and can also respawn the same ship once per day for free. It's unlikely that you will lose any silver lions with the starting destroyers, or even if you do, your losses will be extremely small, so use it as an opportunity to brawl it out, have some fun, and learn as you go. And then once you start getting a feel for things, you can move on to tip number 3, which is to change up your keybinds so that they are comfortable. War Thunder has a ton of keybinds and settings, and some can actively detriment you or assist you depending on if they are set properly or not. Some easy ones to list and show on screen are turning off auto selection so that it doesn't constantly change targets when you don't wish it to, turning on tracer shells at longer ranges to make your shots easier to see, switching which damage control system you would like to use, and changing what keybind you use to select targets to fire at. These changes, along with many others, will just make it a lot more comfortable for you to play, and will just be a more enjoyable experience as you continue to move on into the Naval game mode. My next tip after that is, if you do want to survive longer and come out on top in some of these early engagements, just continuously turn your ship or change speed. Especially in the arcade mode, this will throw off your opponent's aim and give you an early advantage over other players that are just sailing in a straight line. This is a bit harder to take advantage of with realistic, as it will also throw off your aim, but constantly making opponents miss may frustrate them and cause them to switch targets, giving you an ample opportunity to strike back. It just gives you that small edge over your opponents early on and gives you a little bit more survivability in the long run, which lets you learn just a little bit more during each match. After that, when you decide that you really want to delve in and get the upper hand in Naval with as much information as possible, look up guides that players have made for the various systems in War Thunder. Like I said before, the in-game tutorials are absolutely terrible, but many players have strived to compensate for that with YouTube videos and documents explaining things properly. Things like the aiming systems, damage system, damage control systems, researching, crew skills, and modifications have all had extremely detailed guides made if you end up questioning how any of them work or if you are utilizing them properly. I've made more than a few guides just because of how desolate the in-game tutorials are per useful information, especially for new players when you're just getting into the game mode. You can spend a lot of time, research points, and silver lions, along with frustration early on, just doing something wrong because the game just doesn't tell you what you should actually be doing, and what you should be looking for. And for my last tip, I have something that I think is definitely the most important on this list, is do not buy premium ships. At least not until you have tried a tech tree ship of a similar tier. While a premium destroyer may allow you to continue playing and learning like normal, jumping right to a high tier cruiser or battleship will get you absolutely flattened, as the other players at these tiers have a lot more experience with the game and will actively look for easy targets to take out. While a battleship may seem big and tanky to where it would survive a nuclear blast, when it's faced with another player that knows where to shoot that same tanky battleship, it can disappear in seconds, leaving you with only a repair bill. Rather than feeling like you have wasted money, take your time and learn the nuances of the game better so that you can come out on top during battleship and cruiser duels when you eventually get to them. With that being said, those are my basic tips for players that are just starting Naval. Take your time, do a little bit of research, and you'll find that this game mode is a lot less frustrating than it looks when you're first getting into it. Just play to enjoy it while you have these cheap early destroyers, and just have a good time. Plow it into the enemy team, take out a couple enemy destroyers with torpedoes, absolutely gun down a little coastal boat that tries to bother you. Just enjoy your time, learn a little bit, and then delve deeper and do a little bit of research so that you can come out on top in every single engagement. Good luck out there, guys. I'll see you in the next one.